Hey, what's going on, everyone? I'd like to welcome everyone to episode 2 of How to Increase Your Credit Score. I hope you had the opportunity to check out episode 1. If you didn't, I'll definitely make sure I post a link down in the description. Make sure you check it out. Hey, in this episode, we're going to be talking about an extremely important method that is guaranteed to increase your credit score. These methods that I'm going to discuss in each video in this series aren't just something that I read. These are methods that I actually did myself that helped me increase my credit score from a 547 to an 809, and I just want to make sure I share it with everyone. Hey, welcome to Points Blank Travel, everyone. My name is Rod, and on this channel we talk about credit. We talk about credit cards. We talk about personal finance, points and miles, how to travel around the country or around the world for little or no money out of your pocket. If this is something you're interested in and you haven't already done so, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button, hit the thumbs up button. It really helps the video get pushed out to even more people. And knowledge like this, I'm trying to share with everyone because I know most people at some point or another in their life, they were either concerned about their credit score or they had to rebuild their credit score, one or the other. And with all that being said, I almost forgot one important part. Make sure you share it with your family and friends. Make sure you share it on your social media sites, your Facebook, your Instagram, your LinkedIn, your Twitter. Make sure you share it, man. I'm sure there's someone that can learn from information like this. Now, with all that being said, let's roll, baby. You know, I really hope in the next few months, or maybe even a year from now, I receive feedback from people that state that the videos in this series really help them improve or increase their credit score. You know, that would be amazing, and that would really help me understand why I decided to even do this. You know, this is something that's near and dear to my heart. As I stated in the intro, going from a 547 to an 809 with really no guidance, just spending a lot of time reading and trial and error and spending a lot of time. I really want to help people avoid that. You know, now that we got that out of the way, let's get right into it. The second most important thing you can do to increase your credit score is pay attention to your credit utilization. You know, this is often the most overlooked thing when it comes to credit. People don't even know, and I'm one of those people, they don't even know what credit utilization is. I used to wonder back in the day when I was in the mid 500s why my credit score wasn't going up. You know, I'd pay my minimum balance due, I'd pay it on time or ahead of time, but I never saw my credit score increase. And then one thing I noticed, my credit cards weren't maxed out, but they were close to being maxed out. Let's say I had a $1,000 limit, I was somewhere between an $850 and a $950 balance on my credit cards. And when I go through this scenario and show you the formula how to figure out your credit utilization, you're gonna see that that's way too high. But I didn't understand that at the time. You know, I'm looking here and I did a lot of research back in the day, like how can I increase my credit score? What do I need to do? Pay your bills on time. One of the things I always saw was don't max out your credit cards. Well, it was too late, I had already done that. But I don't recall, going back, I don't recall seeing anything when I was in the 500s. I really don't recall seeing anything that talked about credit utilization. I'm sure it was there, but maybe I didn't know what it was. I kind of overlooked it. You know, credit utilization is an important key to your credit. And once you learn how to master it, it is so easy to use that to your advantage, because as you reduce your utilization, your credit score is going to go up. And credit utilization, exactly, a simple, raw definition is your credit card balance divided by your credit card limit. It's that simple. Your credit card balance divided by your credit card limit. I'm going to show you in a minute how to calculate it. It's really not that easy. Let's say, for example, if you have a credit card with a $1,000 limit and you owe $300 when your statement closes, $300 balance divided by $1,000 credit limit equals 0.30 or 30% credit utilization. The reason I use those numbers is very important because credit experts say that you should not exceed a 30% utilization rate. So it doesn't mean if you have a $1,000 limit on your credit card, you can never spend over $300. That's not what it's saying. If you have a $1,000 credit limit, you can spend $1,000, but make sure by the time that credit card statement closes, you're at $300 balance or below. That's all it's saying. It's not saying don't use your card, but please make sure you do me a favor. More importantly, make sure you do yourself a favor and be responsible. That's the key to this. Be responsible. Now, I mentioned that experts say 30% or below. I want to do a flip side of that. I want to say, let's say your credit card limit is $1,000. You spent $1,000, and we're going to use the same scenario. Hey, try to get it back down to $300 or less before the statement closes. But other things come up, you can only get it down to $500. You've done a good job. You paid $500 on your credit card. You paid $500. So you went from $1,000 balance down to $500. Back in the day, I would have thought I did a great job. Not a good job, I would have thought I did a great job. And you did. But what you need to think about is 500, your balance divided by 1,000, your credit limit is 0.50 or 50% of your credit utilization. And to creditors, this does not look good. And this is when your credit scores start to dip because they're starting to think, hey, maybe he or she, maybe Rod is spending beyond his means. You know, is he getting close? He usually be a $300 balance, but now he's creeped up to $500. Is he getting close to being at 1,000 or 100% credit utilization? That's not what you want. That's why once you get over 30, you'll start to see your credit score decline. Personally, I like to keep my credit utilization at 10% or less. So this means when that credit card statement closes, my balance, regardless to how many charges I made throughout the month, my balance needs to be at $100 or less. It becomes easier. Listen to me, everyone. It's hard when you have one credit card. It's hard when you have a $1,000 limit. But as you get more cards, if you follow this, as you increase your credit score and you're afforded the opportunity to get even more cards, it becomes easier to have a 10% or less credit utilization rate because you have more credit limits. So let's say instead of having a fight, and I'm going to tell you it's tough, having a fight to just have a 10% or below credit utilization rate and only have a $100 balance, as you increase your credit score and not go crazy, but get more credit cards, you may have a $10,000 limit, and if an emergency arises and your credit card balance, because of medical emergency or automotive emergency, something came up, and your balance is $1,000, you don't have to worry about being at 100% utilization. You're still at 10% utilization. Remember, credit card balance, $1,000, credit card limit, $10,000, 1,000 divided by 10,000 is 0.10 or 10%. Just keep remembering that. Something that's very important to remember is your closing date. I've said that several times in this video. Make sure you know your closing date. Your statement closing date, you need to know that. You need to know, because most of the time when your statement closes, that's when these credit card issuers, that's when they're reporting to their 3 credit card bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. So you need to make sure you know those dates. Your payment due date is important, but as far as credit utilization and making that credit score increase, the statement date is what's important. Experts say 30% or below. Rod is not an expert. I just personally like to stay at 10% or below. And again, I went from a 547 to an 809 by using this method. So it's definitely something you may want to look into. Hey, I can guarantee you just by starting to do what I talked about in episode 1 and what I'm talking about in episode 2 right now, paying attention to your credit card utilization, I can guarantee that your credit score is going to start increasing. And you're not going to have to be like that average Joe or that average Mary and wonder why it's increasing. You're going to know why, because you're doing the right things, baby. Hey, I love to hear some of the strategies out there for what people do for their credit card utilization. Do you make multiple payments? Do you just use a card and pay it down real quick? What do you do? What do you do to keep your credit utilization low? If you're on the flip side of that and your credit utilization has been high and your balance is $800 and your credit limit is 1,000, so you're running an 80% credit utilization, and now you finally understand why. I'd love to hear about that in the comments below too. We're all learning together. I learned this the hard way, but I want to make sure you don't. Please post it in the comments below. As always, man, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Like the video if you got anything out of this. Give it a thumbs up. I want to push this out to as many people as I can. Share it with your family and friends. Share it with people you run into on an every other daily basis. Share it on your social media platforms. Share it on YouTube. Share it on Facebook. Well, you can't share it on YouTube. Share it on Facebook. Share it on Instagram. Share it on Twitter. Share it on LinkedIn. Share it. I just want to get the knowledge out there. And remember, shoot for the moon. If you don't make it, you'll be amongst the stars, baby. Hope you're having a great day. Remember, episode 1 will be posted in the description. Stay tuned for episode 3 because it's going to kind of tie into episode 2. Hope you're having a great day. I'll see you soon, bringing even more knowledge or dropping some hot credit news. And until then, peace, baby.